system closely, you can see more of the internal combustion engine components. This is our powertrain of the last internal combustion car. There are some differences if you compare both cars, but the first thing you might know is the body. With the switch of electrification, we have this huge issue with our previous platform, which is the engine, which has some heat soak issues. We have this something called torsional rigidity, which is one of the biggest things.
Every year we build, design, and compete in an open-wheel formula-style race car. Design it from the ground up. Just the 10 to 15 engineers you see in this room have every single part on that car. We manufacture about 95% of it in-house, and then we try to race it as much as possible because obviously we're very proud of what we build. So it's fun that you guys get to see an unfinished car next to a finished car because that's what we look like in the middle of the year, and this is what we get to once we get to the end of the year. The air package, I think we boast one of the best ones in the country. It's a full carbon floor, we have a front wing, rear wing, we have a fully developed cooling system that integrates into the car. We run side wings, which you'll see right here, which a lot of teams don't usually run. So our package is very, very heavily defined around high downforce, low drag, especially as we switch to EV, that becomes even more important because the lower your drag, the less work that our lovely e-tron lead has to put in to make sure that our car keeps running during endurance, which is the longest, most difficult track to run. I think my system's cool because we get to focus around just that, just pure performance. It's not drive critical, so the car runs without it, but how well the car runs is pretty dependent on how nice of a package we have. It's fully carbon fiber, which is another thing. We run carbon fiber in our monocoque and in our aero package. That's something a lot of teams don't get the opportunity to run. We have our great sponsor base to thank for that, and we have a lot of extensive composite knowledge on our team. And I think systems like this prove the quality of our composite manufacturing and how much we know about systems like that.
For this specific car, we're adding a few more components while removing others. So we won't have an internal combustion engine anymore. Now it'll be motor inverter combo with a giant battery, which we call the accumulator, because that handles both energy storage and power distribution. So being able to monitor everything, make sure it's safe, so temperature, voltages, right? You don't want to be overheating the battery pack because thermal runaway is an incredible issue. Data acquisition is of utmost priority.
We put countless hours into making sure that our designs translate really, really seamlessly off of good engineering policy and good engineering technique. What you see here is the culmination of thousands of hours that every single one of us have put into making sure that this car really is the best that it can be, surrounding the members on the team, because we try to make sure that the team works around the people it has rather than the other way around.
Each league works around 40 to 50 hours a week, and that's when we also study for our classes when we're trying to get our degree.
I did robotics during my high school, and within those years I kind of established what I want to do in the future and want to see what future steps I should take. I chose to come here even before I wanted to study at Michigan State. It's one of the top teams in the United States. I came here, I saw the environment, I thought I could fit in nicely, which luckily happened, and I'm pretty happy about my decision that I took 4 years ago.
The hands-on component is incredible, right? This is what gets you to that industry, right? Just being able to play with those industry tools, materials, resources that support, right? Just throughout college, it brings an awesome transition into the workforce.
We learn so much. You go from knowing absolutely nothing to being an industry professional by the end of your 4 years.
Coming from IC, so many years, decades, right? Decades of knowledge in this internal combustion vehicle, this whole platform. It's very mature, right? So now we're moving to this electric side. There's a lot of finicky things going on. There's a lot of gaps in knowledge we need to figure out. We need to troubleshoot. We need to kind of develop a solid foundation for us to optimize, right? That's the whole competition, right? Optimize, build the best vehicle you can. I rely heavily on mentors. So having someone to ask questions when you need knowledge, right, is critical. So at the same situation 20 years ago, I would imagine, engines were still a thing, they were still developing it, right? So just being able to piggyback off what was already done to then progress into what it is today is very, very helpful. Because electric motors aren't brand new at all by any means. No. It's just they've been rolled out very, very heavily now. It's just being applied in a different way than it has been in the past.
Engineering is developing so quickly, and it's cool to be able to be part of that development. It was like he was saying, we have an extensive alumni base who is so supportive of us, so immensely supportive of us, and we wouldn't be here without them. But we kind of get the feel of those 20 years ago engineers we did build an IC car for a very long time, but now we get to be the first people off the basis of all those engineers who helped us move into a new field that's going to be the basis of automotive for the next couple generations.
When you electrify your car, most of the other systems still remain really similar to how you would run an internal combustion engine. I know Costa gets affected the most in our team because econ lead.
Yeah.
But like aero or chassis, suspension, all of them get affected obviously, but not as much more minimally compared to the electric components of the powertrain.
Will the electric be the same speed?
It depends.
Though it has more horsepower, so
and a lot more accessible torque.
Yeah.
Right. That's something you got to control. You got to be safe, right? You got to add a ton of security on that, right? Protect the driver, ensure everyone else around the vehicle is also safe. So a lot of safety precautions internally so that the driver is on the right track, pretty much.
We take to as many competitions as possible, the biggest one being at the Michigan International Speedway, where 210 schools compete internationally, and that's in our own backyard. Outside of that, we do tiny shootouts, which are just more informal competitions that we do with the other schools just to keep good relations with them.
How many members are on the whole team?
At the moment, we're 14, but each year, every fall, we initiate our new member program. At the moment, we are around 120 new members, plus 14 leads. We don't exam anyone, we don't quiz anyone for our recruitment process. What we expect is the time commitment and the requirements that we have in order to build a car from scratch. That takes almost a year.
Every single person who's ever been on this team sits on a form, and we have people who are 20 years graduated, 30 years graduated, and still respond. We've had alumni who've gotten engaged and then 10 minutes later hopped on calls with us because of how committed they are to helping us and how committed they are to this team. And I know every single one of us feels very similarly, because I think this team makes you want to come back. It makes you want it to grow over and over. Right?